Hello! Today we're going to be doing some basic painting with Photoshop. I have already opened my image, my TIA image that I'm going to be painting, and I opened some other images that I have as reference. You can use paintings, etc. For example, I have a cropped image of the headshot of the actress because I'm going to be using this for my skin tones. I also have an image that the director gave me about the color palette that he likes for the show. In addition, I want to make sure that I have the layers are open, which they are, that my undo history window is open, which it is, and I'm also going to open the project bin so I can see what files I have open. Some of you may not have separate windows, some of you may have tabs, so opening the project bin action section allows you to go to the images real quickly rather than trying to search for tabs. Okay, I'm gonna start painting. We're just doing some flat painting with some textures. I'm gonna start with the background. To do this, the director had expressed an interest in this sort of soft lavender tones down here. So I'm gonna open my foreground color down here on the menu, on the left side column. When you open this, some of you may have an RGB palette already set up. Some of you may have something that looks like this, which is sort of like different hues. I like using only web colors, mainly because I know that when I save the file as a PDF and I email it to the director, the colors are going to stay true to what I was painting, and they're not going to change when they go over the internet. Also, when I save the image as a TIF, I can always choose the RGB profile. So when I go to the print shop, the color is going to be true to what I have chosen. Some of you may also have the Pantone swatches, which are welcome to use. So I'm going to proceed. The director wanted some lavender tones, so I'm going to this lavender right here. And I'm going to pick that color for the background, which is close enough for what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to say OK. And then I'm going to use my paint bucket on my tool menu bar. And I'm on the layer, the background layer, and I'm going to dump it. Okay, that's kind of light. I know why. I had the wrong setting. So this is lesson number 1. I have my undo history. I'm going to go back. So I have my paint bucket. Always check that you have things set up properly. I want normal. I don't want any special effect. And I want an opacity of 100%. The settings that you just saw are settings that I was using in a different sketch earlier. So normal 100%. I'm going to dump it again. And I have the background layer. There we go. Now that's kind of bright. That's kind of pink. That's not what I want. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to open my color. Let's go with a gray one. And I just realized that was very intense. So instead of doing 100%, I'm going to go to a 50%. Okay, so that's more in the hue of what the director is seeing over here. Now I'm going to add a quick little texture. This trick is very simple. I'm going to go to brush. I'm going to see what I have in my default brushes that I could use. I see I have a leaf in here. You can use a texture like this, whatever works best for you. I'm going to use the leaf. Because there is some white highlights, I'm going to change the color. I'm going to use white. Okay. I don't want it to be completely bright, so I'm probably going to dilute it. I'm going to go to maybe 29%. And I would like a big size. 74 seems to be too small. Okay. I'm still in the background layer. I have white. I have normal. I have 29. And I have a brush. Now it may be very, very light. Maybe I need to go a little darker. Okay, you can see it's a little darker. Let me try now, and I think I need a bigger size. There we go, I like that size. Yeah, this is interesting. So I can just move it around a little bit. Great, and I get a texture that is in the spirit of what we're doing. Since this is a comedy, I'm going to keep it light the way we have it right now. Now I'm going to continue to paint. I don't need to paint the silhouette because that's an image I'm keeping as a backup in case I need to redo the sketch later. I'm not touching the outline. That's also a backup. I'm going to go to hair and makeup. That's my next layer. I'm gonna use the eyedrop. When picking a palette for the skin tone, always go to a highlight if you have the actor's headshot or if you're using somebody else's picture as a reference. So there we go. That's the color. I'm gonna use my paint tool. I'm also going to zoom in, so you can go and zoom in. You can also press Command plus or Control plus. Okay, so I'm on the hair and makeup layer. I have my paint bucket, normal. I have it at 50%. I want it at 100%. I'm gonna dump it and see what happens. There we go. It's a little dark. So I'm gonna undo, okay? And I'm gonna now add more. I'm gonna dilute the color. So instead of 98%, I'm gonna do 50%. Now, I just realized it's a problem, right? It reverted back to the background layer, which is not what I want. So I'm gonna undo. I'm gonna highlight the hair and makeup. Okay, I have normal 51, the proper color, the paint bucket. Okay, I'm gonna paint the face. This is one of the things that with practice, you'll keep remembering to make sure that you are on the right layer. I'm doing the hands. Okay, so that's the only skin tones that we have showing. Now we also have some skin showing here on the blouse. But to paint that, I'm gonna go with the paintbrush. I'm gonna go to a regular setting. I'm gonna use a soft brush, like one of these guys here. It's a good size to create this. So I'm just gonna do a quick sort of suggestion of skin tone because this is an organza blouse. Okay, we wanted a see-through blouse because we're making her very sexy, and the director liked this sort of idea of translucency and how provocative and sensual she was. Next layer is the blouse. Okay, so now I'm gonna open the palette here. In this image, the director had liked a sort of the blue tones, the very light blue tones for her. Okay, so I'm gonna use my eyedrop and I'm gonna pick that blue. I'm gonna open it here to make sure I have the right blue. Oh, it's a gray in here. So I'm just gonna go to the blue, bluer, there maybe. That may be too, I'm gonna go with that blue. I'm gonna say okay. Because I'm probably gonna use the same blue for both the skirt and the blouse, but I'm gonna make them be different tones. Her costume is monochromatic with some accents. So I'm gonna start with the blouse. I'm on the blouse layer. I know it's an organza, so it's gonna be transparent. Okay. I'm gonna use my paint bucket. I'm on normal, and I'm doing a half opacity, so 50%. Let me test that. Okay, that may be too dark actually. So you can do undo, or you can go to history and undo it. I'm gonna make it even lighter. So I'm gonna go maybe to 20. Alright, the one problem is that it reverted back. Whenever I go back in my history, it reverts back to the layer that I was working on. So I'm gonna do blouse again. Okay, so I have my paint, I have the blue, I have opacity 23, it's normal. Let me dump it and see. There we go. So now I'm still getting the skin showing through. Okay, now you just need to keep dumping the paint on all the little sections. Alright, and we got the blouse. Now I know that for the skirt I want the same blue because it's monochromatic. So this is the skirt. I'm going to the blue. I have the same blue, but I'm gonna make it, instead of 23% opacity, I'm gonna make it 100% opacity. So I'm on my skirt layer. There we go, that's the color. Great. Next layer is the boots. Now we're playing with this sort of ivory for the boots to keep it in this sort of off-white. So like what today would be tennis shoes. I don't want to do white, I want to do like an ivory. So I'm going to go to my yellow palette. I'm going to pick this as the ivory I'm going to use. I'm on their boots. I have my paint bucket. I'm going to try to do 100%. Great, that works. I'm gonna make the tennis racket the same. I don't have a separate layer for the tennis racket. I'm making it the same as the wood layer because these are props. Great. My next layer is gonna be the belt. Okay. I'm gonna go back to my director's image. He said that Celine had a fire in her belly. So I'm literally just picking the red color in this painting. And that's what I'm gonna dump in the belt. So it didn't pick. I'm gonna do it again. Open this. Eyedropper. Red. Oh, I see what happened. I picked the wrong tool by accident. I was doing the magic one. So you see how this is like flickering in there? So I need to go to the marquee tool, which is the square, and click on it to get rid of it. I'm gonna go to the eyedropper again. I want this red. I can see it in my bin right there. Okay, I'm gonna click on the image that I'm painting. I'm gonna go to paint bucket. I'm still on belt. I'm gonna dump it. Great, I got the red belt with the red from the actual painting. I just realized I forgot to paint the hair. No problem. I go back to the hair makeup layer. I open the actress headshot. I use my eyedropper. I always pick the highlight color because I'm gonna show you a trick of how to add the dark tones later. So there we go. That's the yeah, I'm gonna go with, that's the highlight right there. Great, I'm gonna go with that one. Paint bucket. I'm in the hair makeup layer. Dumping in the hair. There we go. Great. So right now we have the basic layer. I'm gonna view, zoom out. Great. Zoom out. So this is my basic painted sketch. Next, I'm gonna show you how to do highlights and shadows and to add some fun elements to bring it to life. Thank you.